Buddy, TK here, TK and Drinks. We're back for number 2 in our Inside the Mead Maker Studio series into 2026. Thank you all for being here. Appreciate everybody that pops in on these videos. It's super fun to be able to share mead culture, mead experience with as many people as possible. Tonight, I'm going to be going actually into an episode 2 with a meadery. Usually I try not to do more than one Inside the Mead Maker Studio. I do a couple different series, but usually I reserve the Inside the Mead Maker Studio Maker series for people I've never talked to before, and I've talked to Retro Meadery, but these guys are now under new ownership, so I figured it'd be fun to do that and see where everything's going. With Jack and Sarah have been kind enough to give us some of their time, maybe if the internet decides it wants to connect. Hey, there we go. Hey, success!
Hey.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining me, Jack. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
So,
I never used Instagram before, so you got to tell me if I'm doing it wrong.
no, you are doing everything just fine. Yep. No, I can hear you, and you're good to go. So, thank you again for popping in and giving us some love today. Like I was just telling everybody, I've interviewed Retro Meadery before. Got my Retro Meadery shirt on and everything. Gonna show the brand some love, and so I know you guys are under new ownership since back in like October, I think. So I was really hoping you guys could give us a little bit of background on yourself and your kind of like brewing background and kind of just go from there. Hopefully you can hear me. Oh, I can't hear you now.
All right, so this has given me a lot of different feedback loops. I think I heard you say the same thing 3 times, like repetitively.
Oh, no.
Like I said, I'm new to Instagram, so I could be doing this all day.
Is it sounded better now? No. All right. Let's disconnect and try to reconnect, and sometimes that'll basically like hit the TV on the side of the box.
All right.
All right.
I'm gonna close out and try to get back in.
I'm gonna boot you out real quick, and then we'll get. Oh, hey, man. I thought you said this was your first time, man. Looks like you already figured out how to do all this. All right. I'm gonna pop this interview off real quick. And actually, you know what? Anybody else watching, can y'all hear me? Am I stuttering? Is it all coming across loud and clear? Dirty Bird, how you doing? Tony, appreciate you. Anybody can hear me? See the quick post. See if we can't get Retro Meadery back in here. Loud and clear. All right, we're going to go with it. Thank you, Steven. I'm hoping it's Steven over there at Eighthly. I know I got a couple different cats over there. All right, let's go ahead and send that request to join, invite, Retro. All right. I appreciate all that coming across loud and clear. Appreciate you. Hey, man, it freaking.
There we go.
Excellent, love it. All right, so let me go back into my spiel then. So I was just introducing you and Sarah. Retro Meadery has been around for a while, and I've interviewed Retro Meadery before. Like I said, I got my cool swag shirt on, everything. But you guys are new owners to the brand, and I was want to get some new meaderies insights. So you're not really a new meadery, but you're new ownership in a meadery brand. So I hope you give us a little insight on yourself, your background, and kind of just give us a new vibe for the meadery.
Yeah, all right. So my wife had to go home and take the kids and put them to bed, so she's not here right now. We have 3 sons. They're fun, but they're a lot.
I've got 2, so I can imagine one more.
Yeah. Just keep adding them to it, and it gets a little crazier, more exponentially.
I was going to say exponential.
Yeah. So my background, I actually have a PhD in chemistry.
Very cool.
I've done a bunch of chemistry and engineering work and product development in pharmaceuticals, medical devices, biorenewable chemicals, biorenewable materials, cannabis, hemp, and now mead.
Yes.
So as far as my alcohol production experience goes, I've done some home brews with beers and things like that. This is really my first foray into mead, but it's really great because as a part of the sale of Retro Meadery to us, Mike is kind of walking me through his recipes and his techniques, and why he does some of the things the way that he does. And so I'm learning the ropes there. But we've already got some batches going, and they're turning out pretty well by everybody's remarks. And we've even got a new one coming out that's a limited release, and if it's popular, we'll look at doing it on a bit of a larger scale. But we're doing a special one for the Viking experience. So if you're going to be there, you're going to get to try. We call it Vanilla Spice Baby.
Oh, and sticking with the retro theme, obviously, that's awesome. Yeah. I can imagine the label is going to be equally as nostalgic.
Oh yeah, no, it's great. We're leaning on Vanilla Ice from the '90s, and then a little bit of Dune. It's going to be real good.
Okay, all right, pulling from multiple sources. I like that.
Oh yeah.
So you guys, I guess a little bit of history for anybody who was kind of unaware. Back at, say, over summertime, we got one of this dreaded announcements, hey, Retro is going to be closing down. Then a couple months later, or weeks later, something, we got an announcement that there's going to be some news coming through, and all of a sudden we've got new ownership. So how did that come to be? I'm assuming you guys must be regulars at the meadery?
Yeah, so we've been here twice before, and we really liked it. And,
yeah, must have.
Yeah, I mean, so with my previous job, it was looking like it was time for a change, and we always like a new challenge. And we heard that Retro Meadery was closing, and that greatly disturbed us because we just really enjoy this space. If you haven't been here, it's not just Mead, but it's also arcade games and console games. And a retro vibe. It's just it feels like Cheers.
I like that.
Yeah, it's awesome. So we heard they were going to close, and we said no, we can't let that happen. We had some extra money laying around that we were trying to figure out what to do with it.
Yeah.
And so when they said it was going to close, I talked to a buddy of mine who's a bartender, and said, hey, do you think that they would sell it? And he said, I don't know. Let me ask him. And the rest is history.
No kidding. Yeah, I would hope that they would want to sell it versus just letting it go under, especially if it's a functioning business. I know Mike and Matt spent a lot of time putting all those cabinets together and hunting all that stuff down. It looked like in a picture did you guys get the Mead bus in the acquisition as well?
We did. Yeah. Yes. I need to adjust the distributor on it, but other than that, it's great.
Yeah, so you got the whole thing, and that Mead bus I thought was one of the coolest things. And I mean, it's because this isn't just like something they're calling the Mead bus. That's like a little minivan, and we're colloquially calling it the Mead bus. This thing is a legitimate school bus, Bluebird school bus.
Have a look at it.
Oh, heck yeah! If you still got enough light outside, it's dark up here in the Richmond area.
I think we do. Hold on, turn it around.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
we got the Doctor Who phone box. We got the taps. So we put handles on that. There's a kegerator. You probably can see it. There's a kegerator in there.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
And then I'm not sure how many events they ever took it to. I know they had fun putting it together and everything. I'm hoping you guys will get a lot more mileage out of it.
Yeah. So we've got a few mechanical things that we need to do to it. I've got a buddy that he's a diesel mechanic, and so I told him I was driving it home to wash it to get it ready for the Christmas parade, and somebody was behind me, and she said that there was flames coming out of the exhaust pipe. So I talked to my buddy. He said, "Oh yeah, your distributor's probably needs adjusting."
Gotcha.
So we'll take care of that, and then we should be good to go.
And do you already have like events lined up for it or anything?
We've already been accepted to the Viking Festival or the Viking Experience both weekends. We'll be there for that. We've been accepted to the Eastern Renaissance Fair. We'll be there for that.
All in the bus.
We've been accepted to the Norse Forge. I don't know how many of those the bus will go to. It depends on the weather. Because if it's just rear wheel drive. So if it's really muddy,
that's a solid point.
I hear you. But we will bring it to the ones that we can.
Excellent. That's freaking awesome. I was that was one of the coolest things I had seen when they put that together, and I was always excited to see what was to come of it. So under new ownership, I'm super excited to see what you guys can do with it.
Oh, yeah, we're pumped.
So you guys took ownership over back in like early October, late September, somewhere in that
Uh,
time frame.
Late October. Well, okay, so officially late October, early November.
Okay,
Unofficially late September, early October.
gotcha.
Just kind of a get our feet wet. I went to the Crystal Coast Highland Games with Mike.
Okay,
So that was my first festival experience, which was awesome.
yeah.
And then Mike guided me through the first couple of batches on
Hmm.
how to make his recipes. So we did buy his recipes, so we're going to keep that
Oh, nice.
consistent. In
Yeah,
addition to anything new that we're coming out with.
cool.
Um, and yeah, it's just been a journey.
That was going to be another one of my questions. You guys have a flavor expansion in the process because that was always one of my biggest gripes with Mike. Is like, man, you guys have like 6 flavors. I mean, it's really cool. You make some good stuff, but like, I mean, you got this cool theme, and it seems like a really, you know,
Yeah.
let's go. So hopefully there's a plethora more. Maybe that might be a bit of exaggeration, but at least several more in the works.
Yeah. So there are. We haven't really announced this yet, so I guess you're going to be getting the exclusive on it. But over the next year, we're going to be working on building up our inventory of the core ones.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we're doing right now, and then we're going to be developing some new flavors. And part of the way that we're going to be developing some new flavors is also to do some educating. So
Okay.
a part of my experience is when I was in graduate school, I was a TA for 6 years. And
Wow.
so I'm really good at educating people, particularly on the science about things.
Nice.
And we're going to be educating people on, hey, what happens if you change the strain of yeast? What happens if you change the type of honey? What happens if you change the amount of what you're putting in there? And we're going to
Mm-hmm.
just look at various parameters. And we're going to use basically a high throughput screening method. Have you ever heard of design of experiment?
Let's say I haven't.
Okay, so design of experiment is really cool. Normally, when you're looking at some parameters for some type of experimentation, you're going to say, okay, we've got this one lever, and we want to move it here, here, and here, and we want to see what happens. And you're limited to that one parameter that you're trying to change. So let's
Sure.
say the amount of honey. But there are so many other things that you could do. You could be looking at temperature. You could be looking at the type of yeast. You could be looking at the type of nutrients that you put in there. You could be looking at your specific gravity. You could be looking at all kinds of things. And so what a design of experiment does is you plug it into the computer and you say, I want to look at these 5 parameters, and I want to output which one tastes the best on this, or which one has the best color, or which one, and you can grade it in several different ways. And then what design of experiment does is it looks at the inputs that you have from the various experiments. It spits out a list. It says make these 23, and then you go and you judge them on all of the criteria that you're looking for, and it helps you optimize and identify where you want to go. And you can either do it again once you've gotten it narrowed down, or you can say, hey, no, this is where we landed. This is awesome. We want to do this. So I'm really looking forward to bringing that in. I use that a lot in pharmaceuticals and in cannabis product development and in just flavor development in general. And it's an awesome tool. I can get through
Sounds like
50
a really
sets of
fancy name for
experiments
bench
in a very
trials.
short period of time. Yeah. Yeah, it's a high throughput screening method. It's awesome.
Very cool. Like I said, God, you're bringing back my background. Yeah, Matt, you have a couple chemists in there, and that I was going to say that's probably going to lean towards your. I'm hoping that it leans in a positive way for you because one of my favorite meaderies is the mead maker, is a chemist, and make. I think that the way your brain works and perceives things and the understanding
Yeah.
of just the process, it leads to a really high potential for a solid product. So that's really cool that you're going there. Um, it's cool that you have that science background and that chemistry background to be able to have the fortitude to go out and come out the gate having not been a mead maker, mead guy, to come out and offer like classes in education, because I think that's kind of a brave move.
Yeah,
But
no,
I'm
I'm
excited for it.
excited, and I'm dumb enough to do it. So
Hey, there you go. There it is. One of the things that I also saw online that you guys had recently started, I think just yesterday, as a matter of fact, that I thought was really cool. It's called the D&D Boot Camp.
yeah,
Um, so if memory serves, it kind of caught me off guard at first. I have to say, at first I looked at it, I was like, man, that sounds silly. It's like $60 for a three little D&D thing. But then I got to reading it, and it totally expanded. It made sense. So it's a $60 fee. You get three different classes. You get to make your character class with a glass of mead. You get your training class with a glass of mead, and then you get the actual campaign adventure day with a glass of mead. All that for 60
right.
bucks, and then plus a dice set and some other materials and whatnot. So I actually think I take my previous thought back. That's actually a really good deal for that. So it started yesterday. How did that go? What was the turnout like for that?
That was great. We had about I think about 10. We were going to have about 12 or 14, but some people got sick. But we had about 10 people come in, and we all just kind of hung out together. We created our characters, and we're getting ready for the next one, which is going to be our how does combat work. I played
Mm-hmm.
D&D, but last time I played D&D before coming here was 30 years ago. I was 10. And
Love it.
I played the AD&D version, and now apparently
Oh,
there are 4 or 5
too.
versions beyond that, and
Yeah.
and so I have no idea what the rules are anymore. But it's a lot of fun. We're getting a great response from it, and then we
Yeah.
also, in addition to this, we also have every other week just our regular D&D night. Tuesday nights from 6 to 9.
Yeah.
We just come in and we do some D&D with Lizzie, one of our bartenders. She's
Hmm.
fantastic, and we
Very
just have
cool.
time and drink some mead and
And have
imagine.
a good and,
Yeah.
and play imagination. What do they call it? Math rocks.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right, man. Okay, so I guess let's get into some more sciencey, chemistry, technical type questions. So having tried the recipes and all the different flavor profiles and everything, what is it you feel like you're going to be able to do to improve upon either the techniques or the overall process to create a better product?
Yeah. Well, so let's start out by stating that it's a good product to start
Sure,
with, and
absolutely.
if it wasn't, Sarah and I would not have invested in it, right? So it is a good product.
Sure.
One of the things that we've noticed though was that there was a little bit of fluctuation in flavor profiles from batch to batch. Some
Yep.
of that you can expect, but some of that can be controlled. And so what I bring into that a little bit more is more of my process engineering background and my QA work. So I just saw the
Love
comment
you,
on
Tony.
that. Thanks, bud. Uh, so I bring that into it, but we're also going to be scaling it quite a bit. So just within the last month, I think before we were doing anywhere between 300 and 600 bottles a month. This last month, though, I just did 1,200 to 1,400 bottles, something like that.
Nice.
So the other piece that we bring to it is the scale, which along with that comes the economies of scale, so that we can start to get a bit more competitive. So
Gotcha.
we can bring some consistency and some competitiveness, and then like I said before, once we start doing some of the education and the high throughput screenings, we can really start rocking.
All right. It sounds like you've got a game plan, and doesn't sound like you come in, completely blind or anything, which is good because you know, being in the mead world, you never really know. Some people just have these, kind of rambunctious gunshot shoot from the hip. I'm gonna go buy me a meadery and see what happens, and no real plan, and they're done in like 3 months. It's really unfortunate, but I like that you got a solid game plan there.
They don't call me doctor for nothing, right?
Glad to hear not. Um, so you said you had some previous beer brewing experience. Do you, I guess, what is that background a little bit more, and what are you finding, if any, like similarities to like techniques or anything you want to bring over to making mead?
So when I was a postdoc, I did some beer brewing with one of the grad students in the next lab over.
Nice.
That was a lot of fun. We came up with a few really good recipes. I made a rye porter that was phenomenal.
There you go.
And I'm looking forward to repeating that, but I don't have the brewer's license yet.
Yeah.
So I think some of the biggest things that I learned from that was just some of the things that you need to do to make sure you're controlling your consistency, and
Sure.
to just have fun when you're doing it. Kind of think about, hey, what might this taste like? And you can, I don't know about you, but I can think about individual ingredients, and if I think hard enough, I can taste it.
Absolutely.
And so then I can think hard enough about one ingredient and then another ingredient and another ingredient, and I can taste the combination. Sometimes I'm way off, but most of the time I'm pretty close.
Yeah. Good deal. You did bring, sorry, I'm going to try to look for that post here. You guys brought beer into it. Here we go. You have a robo frickin' Rock'em Sock'em Robots, but it's like a couple beer cans there and stuff. So you guys are now selling craft beer as well on a limited capacity?
Yeah. So the reason that I brought those in, we're from the Midwest, and
Okay.
I like darker beers. And it just kind of pissed me off that when you're living on the coast, everybody and their mother wants an IPA. And so it's really hard to find a dark beer. And I finally realized, wait a second, I own a bar. I can get whatever the hell I want.
Yep.
And I bet other people want it too. And
Yep.
so what we'll do is that as we run out on those two, I'll look through our distributor's website and see what I find, see what I want to order, what I would drink.
Yeah.
And I'll go ahead and I'll buy that, and we'll
Nicely done.
sell that until it's all gone. And it's
See
a little
how-
selfish because it's for me, but I want to share it too, because I talked to a lot of our patrons, and we've had one guy come in and he just went on this big long rant about the same thing that I just said. Everybody on the coast wants an IPA, and I just want a dark beer. And he ranted for 5 minutes.
Gotcha.
And I said, hey, I hear you. Here, have this.
Shut up, drink this.
That's right. That'll be $6.50.
Yeah, $6.50, please. That's awesome. And that's one thing that I think a lot of meaderies don't take advantage of, is the fact that they can sell other types of products, or even carry other types of products like that. You have to, not like to say they have them on tap or anything like that. Like you guys are just having them in cans to go. I think it shows a bit of camaraderie amongst the crafts, so to speak. And I always think it's really cool when breweries end up having meaderies on tap. I know you guys do have, or I'm assuming you guys also got the distribution accounts and everything with the acquisition.
We did, yeah. But also, so just down the block is Burgot Brewing, and they do a nice job on a lot of their beers. And so we are actually currently working on some collaborations where we can bring some meads in, and they can start making some cocktails with our meads. And then we're also talking with them about what does it look like for us to get one of your beers over here on tap. And there may be a collaboration in the future to get some braggots going, because North Carolina ABC makes it really hard unless you have both permits.
Yeah, I think that's pretty standard for anywhere, unfortunately. The braggot is just kind of a bastardization. Unless you're in the homebrew world, you can kind of do whatever you want, but yeah.
Right. Yeah,
So
but then you can't sell.
Yeah, to say, but that's, I honestly believe that's why you see so few of them commercially. There are breweries that could do them, won't do them, because most brewers are scared to put a legitimate amount of honey in their, replace their, a 50% of their grain bill with honey, and they can't legally get a mead from somebody like you and blend it and do a 50-50 blend, because now whose license does it technically fall under? And it's this kind of weird gray area. And, it just seems to be a lot of people don't want to take the time and effort to do it. And I don't really blame them, especially when the red tape makes it really unfun to do it. It makes a really fun thing unfun to do.
Right. Yeah. And so we're working on it with them. And, if the state makes it hard enough, then maybe we'll just go get our own brewing license so that we can just do whatever the hell we want.
Never a bad idea. If you can make it happen, I think that definitely having retro meadery and retro brewing. I don't know if there's already a retro brewery or brewing or whatever. I'm sure you could get the name thing figured out, but never
Retro
a bad
Meadery
idea.
beer.
Yeah, exactly. Retro meadery and beer, love it. I think that would be a great idea for you guys. So have you been to a lot of other meaders? Have you had mead from other places before or after having been to retro?
So I've only been to a few, and actually before we came to retro, I'd only ever tried mead one time, and that was with my old pastor in Iowa.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, but yeah, we've been to Moonjoy and Moondog now. I'm really looking forward though to getting out to some of the other ones in the state. Stardust and Starlight are on our list. We'd really love to just get out and check them all
as many as you can. Oh, sure.
Right. Especially if that makes it so we can write off the mileage on our taxes.
Hey man, it's always a business expense.
Oh yeah,
research and development.
So we're really looking forward to going out and meeting with some of the other meadery owners. We went to the meetup in Lenore at Moonjoy, and that was really fun. There's another meetup coming up in Raleigh that we're going to go to. I think Nico's putting it together. So we're
Stardust,
we're really excited. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I guess not everybody knows. We're really excited to just learn more about it and expand and meet people and try different kinds of meads because the styles can change so much from meadery to meadery.
Yeah, are you guys gonna? I can't remember if Mike and those guys joined the North Carolina Mead Alliance. I think they did.
Yeah. We're members. Yep.
Yeah, I'm surprised if you guys would be founding members. North Carolina meetup only. Yeah, man, we're not that far up here in Richmond, man. You can come up here and get a taste of some funktastic stuff. It would.
Hey, that sounds good. My best friend lives in Richmond, so.
Hey, now you got a reason to come on up. Pick a Saturday. I'll be there.
Reasons.
Let's see. What's your favorite style to make and or drink? I should say drink at this point. I probably haven't made too many different styles. But what's your favorite mead style to drink?
When I'm sipping on right now it's our King Arthur. I don't know if you're allowed to drink on Instagram. Like I said, I've never done this.
I can't get mead monetized. That's the only thing. But that was been from jump, so don't sweat it.
So this right here, this is a combination of our Centipede, which is a cinnamon spiced sizer with apple juice, and then our Knights of the Elderberry, which is an elderberry infused mead, and then you throw in a stick. It is fantastic. It's great at room temperature. It's great hot. Excuse me. It's great cold. So that's. I'd say. When I come in, half the time, that's kind of what I'm going toward. Otherwise, I'm pretty open. We just put the traditional back on tap, and so that's been really good. We made a black cherry grenadine at 2%, and that's really, really good too. So using that as a floater on any of them is just fantastic. We've got a customer that likes to put it on Busch Light. I tried it. Not my favorite. It's not going to
make it worse, I'll tell you that.
It's not going to make it worse. That's true. In Iowa, though, we call it Busch Delight.
I'm surprised you guys aren't doing mest down there.
You say meth?
Mest. Milwaukee's best.
Oh, okay. They said meth.
No. No, that's where I'm from over in the West Coast. We do meth out that way.
Got it.
That's actually really funny. So what do you plan on, or how do you plan on experimenting with flavors or different adjuncts, yeast profiles? Is there anything that you have lined up already that you're like, I know I want to try this, or is it pretty much just be tackle them as they come to you type of thing?
So there's some flavor profiles I want to go for, in part because they just fit with our vibe or being retro. There's one I want to do. I've got to figure it out, but basically I want to do one that's kind of like a s'mores.
Oh, that works. That's not what I was expecting. That works.
Yeah, well, I want to call it You're Killing Me, Smalls.
You have to.
Yeah. So the s'mores, like I said, we got the vanilla spice baby coming up. That's really good. I'd like to do some spiced ones. Maybe it's a little less retro, but maybe Trogdor the Burninator. I think that would be a good one. Other than that, I want to really dive into the design of experiment and just see what we can come up with.
Okay. You guys thought about expanding any business, I don't know what they call them, ancillary projects type things, say adding like a mead club or anything like that?
Yeah, so that may be something that comes out of the education piece. It may be a mead club where, if I'm the only one tasting it, that's just one perspective. And it's always better to get, 8 or 10 or 12 perspectives when you're really experimenting with a new flavor. Mm-hmm. And so what we may do with some kind of mead club is make that part of the education piece. And then the members of the mead club can actually come and taste the various pieces that we're doing and give feedback.
Very cool.
So, yeah, it's kind of half baked, but we're thinking through it. Open to suggestions too.
Okay. There's a meadery in Arizona called Scale and Feather. They have their membership meet up on a quarterly basis, and they do an adjunct tasting night. They actually get the raw fruits, the honeys, and do a whole thing and smash everything all together and make a big old mess and design flavor profiles that would be for potential member bottles and stuff like that. And that's a thing that's included in there. There's a whole Dungeons and Dragons themed. They're like the Dungeons and Dragons Tavern, and they call it their quarterly quest, like level up or whatever it is. But I think that kind of concept is really cool. If that's something you could consider, like involving your, not just your customers, but especially the people that want to pay extra money to be a part of that. I think that's a great idea.
Right. Yeah.
Are you guys doing all your own marketing and advertisements and stuff like that? Are you guys bringing somebody in? Does Sarah have a background in that?
Yeah, so at the moment that we are doing it, Sarah has a background in communications. She actually worked for the Center for Statistical Applications and Forensic Evidence.
And that sounds like I got a laid off job.
Yeah. Well, it was one of the university jobs, right? So everybody got laid off.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so she's got a background in communications there. She's a lot more savvy with the social media and things. So she actually, but before we had this, she had to say, okay, now you have to click this, and then he's going to send you this, and then you have to click that. Okay.
Love it.
All right. I'm just going to go make some stuff.
That was definitely going to be one of my comments. I love Mike and those guys, but their attentiveness to their social media certainly had room for improvement. And you guys definitely seem to be out the gate, at least heading in the right direction. You got Mac doing the Grinch stuff there.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, you got the ugly sweater party. You guys are doing events. You guys seem to be hitting the ground running full speed. With community interaction and engagement, both online and in person, and really trying to just embrace the whole Mead community. So I'm hoping it doesn't go unnoticed, because I see it. I'm hoping other people see it too.
Well, we've gotten a lot of feedback that our social media presence has increased and improved dramatically,
yes.
and so that's good to know. That is 1,000% my wife.
Gotcha. You're like, I just make the stuff in the back. She does all the computer stuff.
I just make stuff and then do silly jokes with, punching robots and beer.
Right. I'm the science guy. She's the communications person.
That's right.
Got you. I love it. So I guess I got some a little bit harder hitting questions here. So what is it you think that makes a mead great, or a great mead?
I think, well, let me tell you about kind of where I've been with wines the last 10 years.
Okay.
You know, there are some wines that I've really, really enjoyed, but the majority of them, you go in, you spend $20 on a bottle, even some you spend $40 on a bottle, and you get it home and you open it up and you go, yeah, it's all right. And I think that if you can just hit on those flavor profiles at an affordable price, that you're going to do a whole lot better. And like I said, you know, the reason, or one of the reasons that we bought the Meadery was because Mike has good recipes and they're very popular, and people want to buy them, people want to drink them. And, you know, obviously that's necessary for a successful business, that people want your products. Yeah. So I think right now it's, and it always will be, it's listen to what your customers are saying that they want, what they're saying that they like, what they're saying that they don't like, and adjust your course from there.
Yeah, the people who are buying your product definitely should have some input into. It's certainly the people that are buying on a consistent basis. You know, if somebody comes in and buys one bottle, that's one thing. But if there's somebody who's there on a regular basis and they have a kind of a panache for your product and can give you some pointers, I say definitely take that advice into consideration at least. That's a good idea.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you don't, you know, if someone comes in and they say, hey, I don't like your product and X, Y, and Z reasons why. Okay, if that's one person, that's one thing. But, you know, if that's 10 people and you refuse to listen, you're not going to be in business.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. What is your, like, preferred style? You like dry stuff? You guys are going to be doing semi-sweet? You're going to try to do a breadth of things from dry to pastry sweet? Or are you guys going to try to stick a lane?
So I think that you could classify the bulk of Mike's recipes as sweeter recipes. They're very good. When it comes to grape wines, I prefer drier ones. So we are going to be playing around with that to see what we can come up with. But I think the bulk of what we'll do is we'll stick with that semi-sweet to semi-dry range, just because that's what sells, and that's what, you know. Like I said, if you don't sell any mead, then you're not going to be in business, and you can go do something else.
Yeah, it always strikes me as odd, as like, because you're, you know, again in regionally where you guys are at. I mean, not even regionally, just within the state. You know, you have somebody like Stardust Cellars who does nothing but wild ferments. Everything's like almost bone dry, on, you know, tartar leaning, sometimes on the astringent side. You got somebody like Moonjoy who does a breadth of stuff. You know, Daniel's that dude I think has some
he's
real,
great.
Yeah, he's got some real talent and some ability out there.
I love his peach tea one. That's so good.
I have unfortunately not had that one.
Oh, you've got to get it. It's really good.
Yeah, and you know, and just, you know, so just, I mean, just the difference between people there locally. You guys all have such a different style. It surprised me when I hear people say, like, you know, that's what sells. It's like, I always had the vibe, like, if you're passionate about your product and if it's a quality product, regardless of whether it's bone dry to semi-sweet to pastry sweet, if you're passionate about your product and it's a technically well-made product, like, it's going to sell, and you're going to find a customer base for it. Now, regionally, you might have some easier ways. Like if you were in Minnesota, like, I don't think you'd have a very easy time doing an all dry meadery. Those people love their sugar up there.
Oh, yeah.
And conversely, you know, you go out somewhere like, you know, where you guys are at, you know, if somebody like Schramm's was to open up out there, you know, somebody does nothing but like 1080 and above meads, it might be a bit hard for those cats to open up and survive out there. But like I said, it's all about, in my opinion, very small, narrow opinion, it's about the passion that you put into the product, and people will buy it and respect it, especially if it's technically well made.
Yeah. Well, and for us, I mean, it's going to take us a minute to find our stride in exactly what our style is. Right now, it's still very much Mike's style. As we branch into some of these newer ones, it's kind of a me and Mike hybrid. And so, you know, ask me that question again in a year.
I'll hold you to that. Well, I'm super excited to see that there's people out there that are so willing and uh, I don't know how to say it without sounding like I'm just kind of rambling, but like somebody who doesn't have like a Mead background but comes in and wants to join the team, join
Right.
the
The walk on.
soiree. So yeah, and try to do it justice, not just kind of come in and say like I said earlier, there's some people that just like get lost in the fantasy of it all or whatever. Say, I have the opportunity to buy a meter. I'm just going to buy a meter and hope it runs itself because it's cool, and I want to buy a place where I can sit down and drink and play video games. You know, you very much come into like I want all those things, but I also want a successful business, and I also
Right.
want to be able to share these things and grow and have it be a successful, um, you know, a successful business.
Yeah. Well, and ultimately, like as a part of that, we integrate it all into the rest of our lives as well. So we own some land further out, and we are actually in the planning process for figuring out which fruit trees we want to plant, you know, for the meadery, also for personal consumption. But
Sure.
how can we produce some fruit that we are that we know the history of, that we're confident, you know, hasn't been sprayed with a bunch of junk,
Sure.
and that we just know it's good quality stuff. And so we're working on that. We're actually in the next year or two going to be starting our farm under a separate name, but we're going to be producing that so that we can put it into our meads. And so, you know, quality in is quality out.
I know where there's an orchard for sale, but it's up in Michigan.
Yeah, we're just going to plant one.
No, much better idea. Um, so I don't know how long Sarah told you this would be. Do you have about like 10 more minutes or so?
Yeah, that's fine. That's what time. Yeah, we're good. Yeah.
Oh, awesome, awesome. Um, you have a lot of plans. It sounds like for um, your local Mead community, your local, certainly your local community there directly, and then your greater local, North Carolina community. Uh, what do you feel like you're going to do to be a part of the greater, say, global, nationwide, the bigger, Mead community? How do you want to contribute to that as a
Yeah.
as a
Well, so
as a business?
that's a staged answer, right? So
Oh,
step
I
one
I don't know.
is getting our inventory in a place where we can meet the demand that there is for our product in North Carolina. And then once we achieve that, we will be looking at expanding out into neighboring states. Eventually, we were talking about maybe even, and this is definitely hypothetical, maybe 5 years out, something like that.
Sure.
But talking about maybe starting something back in the town where we used to live in Iowa,
Hmm.
and you know, getting something going there. It's a big college town. I think it'd be very popular, very well received. Um, and you know, one of the nice things is I've lived everywhere, man, and it's I know a lot of people, so I'm making a lot of phone
Nice.
calls to see what we can do to expand our reach throughout the nation. World I haven't thought about yet, you know, baby steps. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's definitely on my radar. I've got some friends that I know will be buying some meads as we get our inventory back up, and then having some of their friends try them in all kinds of different states.
Very cool. I'll be glad to share some of your meads around when they're ready to be all in stock and all that.
Perfect. Yeah, probably by the end of the month we should have a good amount in stock, and I'll be turning a lot of the online ordering back up.
There we go. Yeah, Vino Chipper definitely is convenient to have.
Oh yeah. Hmm.
All right. So one of the things I like to do to end my inside the Mead Maker Studio segments is do some like rapid fire kind of get to know you type of questions, a little bit
Okay.
quirky. Um, so what's the first thing you think about when you wake up in the morning?
Breakfast.
I like that one. Hot or cold?
Hot.
Toilet paper, hanging over the front like a beer or over the back like a mullet?
Definitely front.
Definitely front.
Yeah,
Is
if you
that
put it
because
on
of
over the back, you're wrong.
I personally agree with you. I think that's almost like a condemnable offense right there.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
It's like
so
the
this one,
soda or pop argument, right?
see that one I get at least is like regional. Like I don't think there's any excuse for the toilet paper thing.
Yeah. Okay. Fair. Fair.
Um, but no, I completely agree with you. And if you're wrong if it's not soda.
It's exactly. My wife is a pop person.
I see. I grew up in Seattle, and Washington State is very much a pop state. And then I've lived in Nevada and Arizona, and now here in Virginia, and everywhere else is soda. And yeah, pop just sounds very
It's
hillbilly to me.
onomatopoeia. You know, that's not a drink. It's a word that is a sound.
It's onomatopoeia. It's not a beverage. Damn it.
Yeah.
All right, so probably one of my more contentious questions. Favorite breakfast cereal, either from when you were a kid or now?
Honey Nut Cheerios.
That's a
No.
solid call.
No.
No? Ooh.
Honey Bunches of Oats.
Honey Bunches of Oats is always a good one, too. I always have a bunch of different varieties of flavors with that one, which is keeps it fresh. You know, you get the strawberry ones, you get the ones with the
Oh
almond vanilla or whatever. Yeah,
yeah.
that's a
Blueberries would be
solid
good too.
call.
Yeah.
So honeycomb also a
Yeah.
solid choice. See here, burgers or pizza?
In North Carolina, pizza.
Fair enough.
The beef here is different, man. The beef is not Iowa beef.
See, again, I imagine that's a regional thing. You probably can't get beef anywhere outside of the Midwest like you can there.
No.
Okay,
I
how
mean,
about
we'll drive back to Iowa to get beef and then come back home.
see, and that's how I feel about Mexican food while I'm here in Virginia. It's like I will fly back to Arizona any day of the week for decent Mexican food because I have such a hard time finding it here. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. I
Yep.
hear you.
Yeah. Let's see. Ooh, first car.
First car, 1978 Chevy K10 Custom Deluxe pickup truck.
What color?
The previous owner had a 350 in it. It died, so he dropped in a 400, and he put a 2-barrel carburetor on it, so it couldn't do much because it had coffee straws for air intake.
So did you put a fucking like Weber 4-barrel on there and just let it like roar to life?
Oh, no, I was in high school. I didn't have any money, so
So
we
it got
found
to
out
be.
how dusty it was underneath the seat. We were surprised that I didn't fall out and die on the road, and then we bought a different vehicle.
I love. See, that's why we asked that question. Is we could have fell through the floorboards part of the story. That's great.
So fun story about that one. There was a big rust hole in the floorboard, and before it was my truck, it was my brother's truck. We lived in Minot, North Dakota, which is freaking cold. And he was taking me somewhere because I didn't have a license yet. And so he just put on flip-flops and shorts, and he was driving down the main street, and he hit a puddle of slush. It went straight through the rust hole into his shorts, just hit him right in the sack. And it was freezing cold. It was dirty slush.
Oh
it
my
was funny.
God.
It was hilarious. I laughed my head off.
That's the best story ever. And see, being from the West Coast, they didn't use salt out there on the roadway, so we didn't really ever have to worry about rust on our vehicles and whatnot. That was something I learned much later in my life, but that is hilarious. Oh my God.
In Minot, it's too cold for salt, so they use sand because the salt doesn't do anything. It's too cold.
Yeah, they here in Virginia they use some sort of, I think it's a salt brine. I do see sand out there sometimes, but it's wild. Different places and do whatever they can. In Arizona, they don't actually do anything because it doesn't snow.
Well, that helps.
Well, that's just in Phoenix. Up in the mountains, whole different story. Let's see here. Worst job you ever had?
Worst job? I'd say when I was in medical devices. It was the job itself was good, the people were good, but the owner of that company was a total dick, and that made it really hard.
That does tend to happen, unfortunately. That's the worst when you have like a really decent job, and then there's one person there who's in some sort of position of authority that like ruins the whole experience. It's like, man, that would have been really cool if it wasn't for Bob being such a tool the whole time,
right?
Or whatever. Yeah, that's really crappy. What
So
about your
he always had it was seasonal work because it was contract manufacturing for defibrillator electrodes, and it was seasonal, so he would go through, and there would be a time when he just wanted to fire everybody. He called it hunting season.
Oh, good God.
Yeah.
He's
Thanks,
that
Mark.
guy, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
That's atrocious.
Sorry, I didn't mean to depress you.
Uh, no, you're good. Just to make sure the connection didn't fall out. How about your first job?
First job, I made cotton candy at Busch Gardens in Williamsburg.
Virginia?
Yeah. I graduated high school in Newport News. I was an Air Force kid. So I was all
Ah,
over. Yeah.
that explains the Minot, North Dakota.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, otherwise, why?
My family is from that region, and I have no idea. I'm glad they left to go to Washington State because I have zero desire to live in the shale fields of North Dakota.
Yeah. I mean, it's nice because there's nobody there, but, you know.
Yeah, I mean, if you like solitude, it's great. I'll tell you
It
that.
is. Yeah, yeah.
If you could have any superpower, what would it be?
I want to fly.
Not one I get very often. Flight. I think it's probably one of the more like over overly used but underrated powers. Like it because it's so convenient.
Right? Well, and it's fun.
Well, people always lose the fun factor in these things. People almost always go for convenience or something, which is fine. I totally get it. But the fun factor, I think, is really underlooked a lot or
Yeah.
overlooked a lot. Flying, yes. Let's see here. Current favorite beer or mead that you're drinking, other than the one in your glass.
The one in my glass. Let's see. So actually, our traditional with that black cherry grenadine, really
Yeah,
good.
is that one that's gonna be like become a regular, or is that just like something you guys are doing as like cocktails for at the establishments there in Burgos?
Well, so it's one that I don't feel like putting in for labels, so I'm only doing it here.
Fair
So
enough.
I've got 22 bottles, and they're here.
That's what we get. Yeah, dealing with cola is a pain in the ass. I don't.
Oh, yeah.
I never envy anybody having to deal with that. I know. I shouldn't say it's a pain in the ass. It has potential to be a pain in the ass because you hear horror. Well, you'll end up hearing horror stories from people. It's like, oh, you can do this, but you can't do that, and then you'll end up educating the people on that end more than you'll know more than they do, and they're supposed to be the ones advising you, and all this is to be a pain in the ass.
We've got one that we sent in, they denied it, and then we made the changes, and then they accepted it. And then I was looking at the label, and it says, contains sulfates, and in general, we don't use sulfates. And so I said, I really don't want that on the label. So we took it off the label, and we sent it back, and then they denied it. I said, what?
Yeah, we're not putting.
Okay.
See, that's what I'm saying. Well, welcome to dealing with cola.
Right.
Certification of label authority, whatever it is. Yeah, those guys are.
Yeah.
They're fun. Favorite brewery from out of town. So how about
Favorite
back in
brewery?
Iowa?
Okay. So there's a brewery called Toppling Goliath in Decorah, Iowa. If you've never been, you need to go. They've got fantastic beers, especially if you like darker beers, and they've got fantastic food. Most of the breweries in Iowa have fantastic food.
Actually, so I work at a meadery here up in Richmond, Funktastic, and we have a mead releasing this weekend that was aged in an assassin barrel.
Nice.
Heck yeah! So I'll try to see if I can grab a bottle for when you come into town.
Yeah, that'd be great.
See, if you're going out to the bar, would you prefer to play pool, darts, or shuffleboard?
Pool.
Excellent choice. Favorite or best Halloween costume?
So, all right. When I was a kid, I had this dragon costume. It was a big dragon onesie. And I didn't know this until maybe 10 years ago. But apparently, I loved that costume so much that I wore it all the time as pajamas. And when I would outgrow that one, my mom would go out and she'd buy the next size up. Yes. Until eventually they didn't have the next size. So I never knew that she did that. Well, my sister found a picture of her and me and my brother in our Halloween costumes, and I was wearing that dragon outfit. And she likes to sew, so she actually sewed me an adult size costume of that dragon outfit.
Oh, your sister's the dopest dope. That's fucking
Yeah,
rad.
yeah, she's awesome.
Oh man. So kind of similar in those same lines. So I have two boys. You said you got three. When my I don't, how old are your boys? I got 16 and 13.
3, 5, and 7.
Okay, so you're 3 year old. Oh man. Anyway, so when my kids were
Super fun.
about when, grade age, when my kids were about 6 months to 18 months, we went. They were both born in the summer, so Halloween was right around the corner. So Halloween costumes were out. So what we did, instead of buying them like onesies and stuff, we just bought them a ton of freaking Halloween costumes. And every time we went out somewhere, we had a little lion or a bear or a freaking whatever, little dragon, all these different things with us. And they didn't have like just, cute ones. I mean, they had regular outfits too, but like in addition to that, just throw them in the onesie that was costumes. And like I said, we did that for probably about maybe a year.
That's awesome.
It was a great fun thing to do. And then actually even after that, when they were about your kids' age, we were doing after Halloween, we'd just go buy a gang of Halloween costumes and go throw them in the play bins. Like, here you go. Now you could be Spider-Man and Captain America and Thor, because it was all Avengers at that time. But
Yep. Yep.
I love it, man. You guys sound like some awesome people out there. Can't wait to come down and visit. Two more questions. If you could star in any movie remake, who would you choose to replace as the actor? My go-to example for this is I'd always replace Keanu Reeves in The Matrix as Neo, because I want to be Neo, man. I want to be the one jumping across buildings and doing the cool bullet dance.
Okay. Oh.
It's definitely a tough one to come straight out the gate at.
Yeah. I feel like I would want to be Willow.
Ah. Wait, like
Because he's
Willow
like
himself?
Yeah. Because
you got the wizard.
Yeah, but he's just so unexpecting, right? Like, or unsuspecting. It's
The unassuming wizard, and you got the like. He knows he should have pointed at his own finger, but he didn't, and then he has
right.
at the end he has the whole coming to No, I got you. The not the reluctant hero, but the because that's the word I was looking for. Is not the reluctant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was reluctant. It's just that he didn't know that he could do it.
Right. That you needed to find the confidence within to be able to exude that magic and stuff. All right, I'm here for that.
Now I'm twice his size, so that's kind of hard, but
Yeah. All right, final question. My name is Jack, and I am a
dad.
Well played, sir. Everybody, Jack from the new owner. Well, Jack is the new owner from Retro Meadery. If you haven't been to these guys' spot, they're down in Burgaw, North Carolina. Give them a shout. Give them about a month and a half. Get some stocks built up. Check for the online store if you're there locally. Go ahead and hit these guys up. One thing I've always wondered: how do you guys do the video games? Is it hourly? Is it tokens, quarters? How do you do that?
Screw that. That sounds horrible. Come in. If you're under 18, it's $5. Play all day. Just come in. Hit a button on the machine. If you're 18 or over, it's $10. I hate you go to Dave & Buster's, right? You put $20 on a card. You get 6 games out of it. And then you got $1.17 left on it that you can't use for anything. And you have to recharge or do anything. That's stupid. I hate it.
Yes.
Just come, pay $5 for kids, $10 for adults, have fun, drink some mead. That's what we want.
We should have led with that, because I think that is one of the strongest statements. Kick-ass video game pricing, great mead, cool place to hang out. And best of luck to you and Sarah there. Have a great rest of your night, and I'll definitely be in touch to get a hold of some meads and come visit, hopefully.
Sounds good.
And definitely, if you come to Richmond, let me know.
Will do.
Have a good rest of your night, sir.
All right. Thanks, TK. See ya.
You too. All right, everybody. Like I said, go visit Retro Meadery down there, Burgaw, North Carolina. $5 for kids, $10 gets you for adults, gets you unlimited gaming there, which I think is probably one of the better, if not best, deals in gaming experiences. It sounds like you couldn't beat that back in the 90s for pricing. Holy shit. So everybody have a good rest of your night. I got 2 more videos coming this week, one for tomorrow and one Thursday night. They're all going to be posted up on YouTube. So if you can't make the live attendance, we're always there as well. I know sometimes watching the replays on Instagram gets a bit of a pain in the butt. So always check on the YouTube as well. Y'all have a good evening, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.